Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to day 253 of Qur'an in a Year Plus, where we learn to look at the world and live life according to the lens of the Qur'an, brought to you by the Islamic Association of Raleigh. Today we're going to be looking at verses 23 to 40 of Surah Al-Naml. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. إني وجدت امرأة تملكهم وأوتيت من كل شيء ولها عرش عظيم. The Hoopoe said to Sulayman, I found a woman ruling over them, and she has been given every kind of worldly means of strength and kingship, and she possesses a magnificent throne from which she governs the affairs of her people. وجدتها وقومها يسجدون للشمس من دون الله وزين لهم الشيطان أعمالهم فصدهم عن السبيل فهم لا يهتدون. I found this woman and her people prostrating to the sun instead of Allah, and Shaitan made their acts of shirk and disobedience appear beautiful to them. So he turned them away from the path of truth, and because of that they are not guided to it. ألا يسجدوا لله الذي يخرج الخبأ في السماوات والأرض ويعلم ما تخفون وما تعلنون. Shaitan beautified for them their acts of shirk and disobedience, so that they would not prostrate to Allah alone, the one who brings forth what is hidden in the heavens, such as rain, and what is hidden in the earth, such as vegetation. And He knows the deeds you conceal and the deeds you reveal. Nothing of that is hidden from Him. الله لا إله إلا هو رب العرش العظيم. Allah, there is no true God worthy of worship except Him, the Lord of the mighty throne. قال سننظر أصدقت أم كنت من الكاذبين. Sulayman عليه said to the Hoopoe, We will examine whether you have spoken the truth in what you claim, or whether you are among the liars. اذهب بكتابي هذا فألقه إليهم ثم تول عنهم فانظر ماذا يرجعون. So Sulayman wrote a letter and handed it to the Hoopoe, saying, Go with this letter of mine and deliver it to the people of Saba. Then withdraw from them to a place nearby where you can hear and observe how they respond to it. قالت يا أيها الملأ إني ألقي إلي كتاب كريم. The queen received the letter and said, O chiefs and nobles, a noble and honorable letter has been delivered to me. إنه من سليمان وإنه بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. This letter has come from Sulayman, and it begins with, In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the especially merciful. ألا تعلوا علي وأتوني مسلمين. Do not behave arrogantly toward me, and come to me in submission and surrender to what I am calling you toward, worshipping Allah alone and abandoning the shirk you are upon by worshipping the sun alongside Him. قالت يا أيها الملأ أفتوني في أمري ما كنت قاطعة أمرا حتى تشهدون. The queen said, O chiefs and leaders, advise me regarding this matter of mine. I do not decide any matter until you are present with me and present your opinions concerning it. قالوا نحن أولو قوة وأولو بأس شديد. We possess great strength and tremendous might in battle, but the final decision rests with you. So consider what you wish to command us, and we are fully capable of carrying it out. قالت إن الملوك إذا دخلوا قرية أفسدوها وجعلوا أعزة أهلها أذلة وكذلك يفعلون. The queen said, Indeed, when kings enter a town by force, they spread corruption through killing, looting, and destruction, and they turn the honored and noble people of that land into humiliated people after they once possessed dignity and strength. This is how kings usually behave when they overpower a people, so that they plant fear and terror into the hearts of others. وإني مرسلة إليهم بهدية فناظرة بما يرجع المرسلون. And I am sending a gift to the sender of this letter and his people, and I will wait to see what response the messengers return with after delivering this gift. فلما جاء سليمان قال أتمدونني بمال فما آتاني الله خير مما آتاكم بل أنتم بهديتكم تفرحون. So when her messenger and those accompanying him arrived before Sulayman carrying the gift, Sulayman rejected their attempt and said, "Are you supplying me with wealth in order to turn me away from confronting you? What Allah has given me of prophethood, kingship, and wealth is far better than what He has given you. Rather, you are the ones who delight in worldly gifts and possessions that are presented to you." ارجع إليهم فلنأتينهم بجنود لا قبل لهم بها ولنخرجنهم منها أذلة وهم صاغرون. Sulayman said to her messenger, "Return to them with the gift you brought. We will certainly come against her and her people with armies they will have no power to resist, and we will drive them out of Saba, humiliated and disgraced after having once lived in honor and strength, if they do not come to me in willing submission." قال يا أيها الملأ أيكم يأتيني بعرشها قبل أن يأتوني مسلمين. Sulayman said, addressing the leading members of his kingdom, "O chiefs and nobles, which of you can bring me her throne before they come to me in submission?" قال عفريت من الجن أنا آتيك به قبل أن تقوم من مقامك وإني عليه لقوي أمين. A powerful and exceptionally capable jinn replied, "I will bring you her throne before you rise from this gathering of yours. I am certainly strong enough to carry it and trustworthy regarding what it contains, and I will not diminish anything from it." قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب أنا آتيك به قبل أن يرتد إليك طرفك فلما رآه مستقرا عنده قال هذا من فضل ربي ليبلوني أأشكر أم أكفر ومن شكر فإنما يشكر لنفسه ومن كفر فإن ربي غني كريم. A righteous and knowledgeable man in the presence of Sulayman, who possessed knowledge from the revealed book, including the greatest name of Allah by which he answers when called upon, said, "I will bring it to you before your glance returns to you," meaning he would supplicate to Allah and Allah would bring it. So he supplicated and Allah answered his prayer. Then when Sulayman saw the throne placed firmly before him, he said, "This is from the favor of my Lord, so that he may test me whether I will be grateful for his blessings or ungrateful toward them. Whoever is grateful to Allah, the benefit of that gratitude returns back to themselves. Allah is free of need and is not increased by the gratitude of his servants. And whoever denies the blessings of Allah and fails to thank him, then my Lord is completely free of need from their gratitude and is most generous. Part of his generosity is that he continues to bestow favors even upon those who deny his blessings." As we reflect over today's verses, the Hoopoe tells Sulayman that Shaitan prevented the people of Saba from prostrating to the one who brings forth what is hidden in the heavens and the earth. Ibn Badisi says, "One of the Qur'an's methods of guiding people toward the study of the universe is that it presents scenes from the heavenly and earthly worlds in a beautiful and captivating way that stirs the soul to reflect deeply upon them and explore their secrets. Here Allah mentions what He has hidden in the heavens and the earth so that people become eager to search for it, uncover its realities, and discover its benefits through the natural human desire to explore and know the unknown. Through this spirit, our predecessors advanced in serving knowledge and benefiting from the treasures of the universe to the furthest extent they could, paving the way for those who came after them. We will never regain their honor except by understanding the religion the way they understood it and serving knowledge the way they served it. The Qur'an calls us to look, think, study, discover, and reflect, but it teaches us to do all of that with Allah in mind. The believer does not study the universe as if it is disconnected from its creator. The believer studies creation and sees the signs of the creator behind it. Then Allah says, and He knows what you conceal and what you reveal. Ibn Uthaymeen says, in this verse is a warning to the servant against disobeying Allah publicly or privately. When you truly know that Allah is aware of everything you hide and everything you reveal, then that should prevent you from opposing Him. A person, if they knew that someone they deeply respected was watching their actions, would naturally avoid doing what displeases them. So whenever your soul calls you toward a sin, whether by neglecting a command or committing a prohibition, you should remember that Allah knows of your disobedience, and that realization should cause you to stop and restrain yourself. And living with that awareness creates awe, humility, and self-accountability. Then the verses talk about Bilqis and Sulayman, and we begin to see many leadership qualities unfold. We see consultation, patience, not rushing into decisions. We see wisdom, strength, competence, trustworthiness, time management, responsibility, and before making a decision, Bilqis wanted to understand who Sulayman really was. Was he just a king seeking power, or was he truly a prophet calling to Allah? So she said, and I am sending them a gift, then I will see with what response the messengers return. Ibn Kathir mentions that Qatada said, may Allah have mercy on her and be pleased with her. How intelligent she was, both before Islam and after embracing Islam. She understood that gifts have an effect on people. Ibn Abbas and others said, she told her people, if he accepts the gift, then he is merely a king, so fight him. But if he does not accept it, then he is a prophet, so follow him. And when the gift reached Sulayman, he made it clear that he was not for sale. He had no need for their wealth because Allah had already given him far greater. He was not calling them for money, he was calling them to Islam. Then Sulayman asked his assembly, who could bring the throne of Bilqis before her people arrived? This was not simply a display of power, it was to show her a sign of his prophethood and the greatness of Allah. So an Ifrit from the jinn, a powerful and mighty jinn, said, I will bring it to you before you rise from your place, and I am surely strong and trustworthy for this task. Ibn Uthaymeen says, this verse shows that it is permissible for a person to describe themselves with qualities of excellence they truly possess, whether to encourage confidence, as in the statement, I am strong and trustworthy for this task, or to warn and deter, as in the statement, we will surely come to them with armies they cannot withstand. But this is only permissible when it is truthful and genuine. The basic ruling is that this is allowed, though depending on the situation, it may take on different rulings. It may even become obligatory or recommended when clarification is needed, such as preventing an unqualified person from taking on a responsibility. It may also be done out of speaking about the blessings of Allah. However, it becomes blameworthy if it is done for corrupt intentions or if it is merely empty self-praise. This is an important leadership lesson. Sometimes a person must be honest about what they can do, not out of arrogance, not to show off, but because the situation requires clarity. And the Ifrit, he also said, I am surely strong and trustworthy for this task. Ibn Uthaymeen says, every position of authority and responsibility requires two essential qualities, strength and trustworthiness. Strength in carrying out the task, and trustworthiness in fulfilling it correctly. A role that requires knowledge must be handled by someone knowledgeable. A task dependent on physical capability must be carried out by someone physically capable. At the same time, the person must also be trustworthy, because without trustworthiness, the work will not be fulfilled properly. And this applies to every area of life. A person needs trustworthiness, but they also need strength. And strength is not always physical. Sometimes strength means competence. Sometimes it means strategy, organization, discipline, courage, or the ability to actually get things done. Good intentions matter, but good intentions alone are not enough. A believer should strive to be sincere and capable in all the roles they play. And the one who had knowledge from the book said, I will bring it to you before your glance returns to you. Then when Sulayman saw it placed firmly before him, he said, This is from the bounty of my Lord, to test me whether I will be grateful or ungrateful. Ibn Ashur, he says, this discussion between the powerful Ifrit from the jinn and the one who possessed knowledge from the book symbolizes that what can be achieved through wisdom and knowledge cannot always be achieved through sheer strength and power. So the believer develops both strength and wisdom, ability and knowledge, action and insight. Then the throne appears before Sulayman. This is a moment where many people would become amazed by themselves. They would look at their kingdom, their army, their influence, their authority, and feel proud. Allah, He says, Then when Sulayman saw it placed firmly before him, he said, This is from the bounty of my Lord, to test me whether I will be grateful or ungrateful. And Ibn Ashur mentions, when the throne was brought before him, Sulayman did not become absorbed in celebrating his own power or the abilities of his men. Instead, he turned immediately to thanking Allah for the favor He had granted him and for blessing him with armies subjected to him through knowledge and strength. All of their excellence and abilities ultimately returned back to the bounty and favor of Allah upon him. And Sulayman understood something many people forget. Every blessing is a test. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, this verse shows that extraordinary blessings and miracles are themselves tests and trials. Just like kingship, authority, and wealth, every blessing from Allah is a form of examination through which the gratitude of the grateful and the ingratitude of the ungrateful become manifest. So the question is not only, what has Allah given me? The real question is, how am I responding to what Allah has given me? And Sulayman said, and whoever is grateful, then they are only grateful for their own benefit. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, the benefit of gratitude returns to the servant in this world and the next, not to Allah. The servant is the one who benefits from their gratitude. A person's gratitude is actually a kindness they are doing for themselves in this life and the hereafter. Even then, they can never truly repay Allah for His blessings, not even for the smallest blessing. Allah is the one who bestows favors freely, and He is the one who created the servant, created gratitude itself, created the ability to give thanks, and created the blessings being thanked for. No one can fully praise Him as He deserves. Allah first blesses His servant with His favors, then further blesses them by inspiring them to be grateful for those favors. So even gratitude itself is another blessing from Allah that requires yet another act of gratitude. And this continues endlessly. So as we walk away from today's episode, let us identify one area in our lives where we need to become more capable, whether as a parent, spouse, at work, in our ibadah, and take one practical step to improve it this week. May Allah increase us in beneficial knowledge and draw us closer to Him through it. May He make us strong and trustworthy and wise in our responsibilities. I'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.